Hey, Shalom Akim out there. Before I begin, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and to the elders of the Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect throughout the four winds of the earth, preaching and teaching His word in truth and in sincerity. All right, man. This past weekend, I was watching the elder from LA, the brother Micah Allah, and he was going in. I think in the particular video that I was watching, he couldn't remember the word that he was trying to think of. That that basically represents when people lose the special feeling that they once had special feelings for lack of better words. You know, so I went ahead and pulled up this word because been it's been on my mind. You know, and it's Anhedonia. All right? And it says is a medical term that means the total or partial loss of the ability to feel pleasure from activities you normally find enjoyable. All right, and this is it's something that you hear quite often, more particular in and around the times of so-called Christmas and Thanksgiving, because once it's over, people always post on social media, you know, and so it becomes kind of trendy about how the holidays don't feel the same as they once did, you know, or just in general, things just uh, um, things just aren't the same anymore. All right, and so that's how you know that there is a spiritual change taking place in the world. Okay, and the world has completely changed since the year of 2020. You know, and we all know what happened that year, and for the years after that, um, until we finally, quote unquote, got back to normal. Okay, but this isn't really normal, man. It's like a new normal where gas is $4 plus per gallon. Um, Food is extremely expensive. You know, basically, everything is just hella fucking expensive. You know, for a basic 2 or 3 bedroom home in a semi decent area, it's anywhere between 350,000 and 400,000. You know, or at least it's like that. You know, here in Phoenix, Arizona. All right, but it seems like that a lot of other places are going up, and that's because you know, Esau planned that whole thing, man. You know, and so that's why that it's very popularly called a pandemic, because the poor got poorer and the rich got richer. You know, so there's just been a continuous squeeze on the people. You know, and the elites are squeezing the people dry. You know, hella stress, hella bills, hella freaking interest on your credit cards. So it seems impossible to catch up. Like, people are living off credit, man. People are living off of credit. Okay, they make barely just enough to pay for what they have to, and then to do anything else, man, they got to use credit. Okay, if you want to take like a beach trip or something, man, you got to put it on freaking credit. Okay, and especially for our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and then Native Americans, who are the true chosen people of Israel. Okay, the true people of God. All right. But before I go too off topic, wanted to get this scripture that brother had got, man. It's just a very beautiful scripture. You know, Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 3. And it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, you know, and a lot of people have become unemployed, and people are truly starting to lose faith in having a job. You know, they see it as pointless, and there's actually a ton of studies saying that Gen Z doesn't see the point in having a job, because the people that they see have a job are just, you know, stretched the hell out and can't even keep up. All right. So this pattern that's happening is only going to get worse, man. It's not going to go back to pre-COVID times. It's not. All right, we are on course for biblical prophecy to take place. You know, and so let's the mirth and joy of this land coming to a close. All right. It says, and the grinders cease because they are few, right? Because they are few, you know, and plus, AI is taking a lot of jobs. You've had tens, if not hundreds of thousands of layoffs from companies like Microsoft, Xbox, Google, you know, and a plethora of others. All right? And that's only going to get worse as well as they begin to mass produce these robots. All right? It says, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, you know? And so the windows being darkened is a representation of this place having no future. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. You know, even the music these days, straight trash. You know, everything is getting worse, man. You know, and so that's and that's the windows being darkened. Okay, this place having no future, and people don't see, you know, people don't see this place having a future. And the scriptures even talk about that, where they're right there. I typed it in before. Proverbs 29 and 18, and it says, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. You know, so the people are, and the people are spiritually perishing. You know, and it's only a matter of time before these devils begin to roll out certain types of famines or pestilences to kill off a large amount of the population, because they do want to depopulate. All right? They do want to depopulate. And it is biblical prophecy for a lot of people to die. All right, it talks about how in the end times their their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city. All right, and the scriptures say that many shall die of famine and of pestilence. And people are also going to be killing each other. Just like it says in Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, friends shall fight as enemies. Second Ezra 16. Oh, Master Spirit. Actually, we can start up on this. Second Ezra 16 and 19. I'll start at verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? And they are going to come. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these they shall not turn from their wickedness. So people are still going to be, doing according to their wickedness, man. They're still not going to turn, man. It says, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. See? So these things are gonna take place, People people find deals now, and say that things are affordable now, so they think themselves to be in a good case, but it's not always going to be like this, man. There's going to come a time to where eggs are going to be $20 plus. Bread is going to be $20 plus. All right, it's going to get real bad out here. It says, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And it says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. The earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. All right. Slovakia. I'm looking for the one that says, friends shall fight like enemies. I could be in the 15th chapter. Oh, Slovakia. It was just 6 and 24. Sixth chapter. Slovakia. But the Spirit led us to 16, man, which was the one I quoted about earlier. So that's the Spirit. Second Ezra 6 and 24, and it says, "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." All right, so people are going to turn against each other, man. Things are not how they used to be, and things are not going to go back to how they used to be. All right, so I want to go back into this word a little more. It says types of anhedonia. It says physical anhedonia, the inability to enjoy physical sensations like like eating favorite foods, uh, listening to music, or getting a hug. Social anhedonia, a lack of pleasure or desire when spending time with friends, family, or other people. People aren't the same anymore. And the scriptures even prophesy in the book of Matthew. It that the uh, says that the love of many shall wax cold. Common symptoms: feeling feeling emotionally numb, flat, or empty. That is huge in today's society. Losing interest in hobbies and daily routines, pulling away from social events, and and isolating yourself. That's also huge in today's society. Struggling to find the motivation to start or finish tasks, also huge in today's society, man. Potential causes: uh, depression. That's basically it. And of course, Esau goes into how this can be fixed with specific medications like like antidepressants, you know, because this devil's got a drug for every damn thing, and there's actually people out there who put their faith in it. They truly put their faith in these doctors and in all the medication that uh, that they prescribe. Hey man, the people lean on Egypt, man. But in due time, as it says in Isaiah 36:6, man, it's gonna pierce their hand, because they trust in it. Because they trust in the staff of this broken reed, man. All right, let's get one more. We can close it out. Isaiah 24, verse 10. Also to verse 10, and it says, "The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened, and the mirth of the land is gone." All right. So with that being said, I hope and pray that this is edifying, and it's on the next one. Uh, Shalom.